Everybody knows Israel Adesanya's style comes from kickboxing. The Nigerian has great striking power and has dominated most of his opponents relying on it. But many find Israel as a fighter who lacks ground skills. He was even ridiculed by other fighters because of his grappling abilities. In the UFC 253 main event press conference, Paulo Costa made fun of Israel Adesanya's ground skills. Israel Adesanya warned Paulo Costa that he would grab his collar and put him in a bow and arrow, but Costa replied,
"I'll grab your fucking collar right now and put you in a bow and arrow."
Key on your body, on your skinny body. You never put one key on your skinny body, huh? Talk about jiu-jitsu with me. You're crazy.
After a very hyped press conference for the UFC 253 main event between Israel Adesanya and Paulo Costa, both undefeated middleweight division fighters took part in a heated face-off before the match. Luckily, both fighters made weight and looked in incredible shape on the weighing scales. However, things got ugly during the face-off. During the face-off, Paulo Costa began showing off his BJJ black belt, which he had around his waist. After that, he went on to take out a white belt and toss it to Israel with the intention of representing Israel's grappling level. Israel immediately reacted and threw the belt back at Paulo, but President Dana White was just in time to step in before things got really ugly. But Israel's ground game issues seem to be changing. Recently, Israel Adesanya was awarded the purple belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and the UFC middleweight champion wasn't able to hide his emotions during this special ceremony. Israel style-bender Adesanya went on from being a blue belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu to a rank above to hold the coveted purple belt.
Right? From the first day I rode with him, I trained with him, so it's amazing to see like how much he put into the martial arts, you know. So he's the best, you know, in what he does. So every time this man fights, he has 95% of chance to win a fight.
Israel has often stated that he would love his opponents to shoot at him, so he can show the UFC fans his ground game. Still, Adesanya continues to maul his opponents with his exceptional striking power that has taken down many challenging opponents like Yoel Romero, Robert Whittaker, and Paulo Costa, among others. It was truly touching to see how emotional Israel Adesanya got at the sudden turn of events. The last style bender has gone through many hard years of work and training that are definitely getting paid off. The middleweight champion's ground game is now at a different level than when he first started. Surely, many of us are hoping to see Israel showing off his grappling skills during his next bouts. What do you think of Israel moving up to purple belt in BJJ? Do you think this will make him strike less in the octagon, or will it make him more dangerous than he was before? Let us know your opinion in the comment section. Trash talk is very common in the fighting world. Many fighters do it because it's their persona, while others use trash talk as a method to deceive their opponents and attract viewers. But too much trash talk can backfire on many occasions, such as the case of Israel Adesanya vs. Derek Brunson. Before this bout, Derek seemed to be a little too confident about himself, since we saw him on several occasions trash-talking to Israel, and we all know how that ended. But before we get into the fight, let's take a look at some of the shots Derek took at Israel. One of the stunts Brunson pulled off was on his Instagram account, where he posted a video in which it seems that both fighters bumped into each other in the same place. Brunson filmed Israel, writing, "He lucky I don't fight for free. Would have slapped this glory reject."
Say it again, let me hear it. Look at my easy money sitting over there. Too much, partner.
Although this was just a minor situation, it was the first thing that started to heat things up between the two competitors. Another trash talk situation coming from Brunson was during a UFC interview. When he was asked about Israel Adesanya, Derek replied by taking shots at him.
Well, he won't look at me.
So he won't make eye contact with me. So he focused on the fight. He's saying what he needed to say, but I'm sure, I know he's aware. I mean, he's talking a good fight. He's talking, hey, I'm going to get the finish, blah, blah, blah. But he knows he's in store for a tough one. Like I said, take my time. It's an easy win for me. I could put him in trouble in a lot of different spots that people weren't able to.
All right, well, as we go into the fight, if you could send Israel one message and you could look into the camera, what would it be if he's going to be watching this a little bit later today?
Hey, I hope the hype was fun, because now the hype is over.
What do you think about the trash-talking method? Is it an effective strategy? Or does it just make a bigger fall once you lose? Drop your opinion in the comment section. Less than a week after getting released by the UFC promotion, Yoel Romero was announced as Bellator's latest signed fighter. This news created numerous questions not just related to Romero's first opponent in Bellator, but how could one of the UFC's most popular competitors end up as a free agent? Romero spoke to ESPN and explained how he heard about his contract release, saying that it came out of the blue during his preparation to step into the octagon in 2021. The thought of getting his UFC contract release hadn't crossed Romero's mind when his manager Malki Kawa told him they needed to talk. At first, Romero was worried that it was an issue with the USADA, who in 2016 had given Romero a 6-month suspension after he tested positive for ibutamoren. But Romero claimed he was the victim of a contaminated legal supplement. He later sued the company that provided him with the supplement. But this time, it wasn't the USADA issue, so Romero concluded that the serious tone of his manager was actually a prank, or good news from the UFC, like a big title fight. When Yoel got the news that he had actually been released, he was obviously upset. But after taking some personal time, a calm washed over him, and he accepted that his time with the UFC was over. Instead of staying mad, Yoel felt grateful for the experience. What do you think about Yoel Romero's UFC release? Was it necessary? What do you think awaits Yoel in other promotions like Bellator? Drop your opinion in the comment section. The Cory Sandhagen vs. Frankie Edgar match has been rebooked. This time, multiple MMA reports state that the bantamweight bout is set to happen at UFC's February 6th event, possibly in Yas Island or Abu Dhabi. Cory Sandhagen is currently number 2 at the UFC pound-for-pound bantamweight ranking. On the flip side, Frankie Edgar is ranked at number 5. This match could have title implications after the Peter Yan vs. Aljamain Sterling championship fight. Cory and Frankie were originally matched up for a fight in last January, but it was suspended since Edgar was moved to save a main event against Chan Sung-young. Frankie Edgar lost the featherweight match, but bounced right back at his position when he stepped in the octagon last August and won his bantamweight debut against Pedro Munoz. The former UFC lightweight champion Edgar is now 39 years old, but looks to be in great shape at 135 pounds after his last match. However, he will have a very tough competition as he looks for a title shot in his 3rd division with the UFC. Both of these fighters are known for their movement. The 28-year-old Cory Sandhagen has a great approach, with footwork and distance management that has lately been interesting to watch. Cory is coming off an incredible highlight reel spinning wheel kick KO against former title challenger Marlon Moraes, which improved his record to 6-1 in the UFC and 13-2 overall. This will be a great fight. Who do you think will take the victory home? Do you think the winner of this fight will have a good chance to become the next UFC bantamweight champion? Let us know your opinion in the comments. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for more MMA news. Smash that like button if you liked this video, and see you next time.